I am my father's affair child. Get ready with me, story time. So my mom didn't know my dad was married, and when she found out, she instantly broke it off, but she was already pregnant. So of course, my mother decided to have me, and honestly, she's been a great mom to me. I have no complaints. My relationship with my father is okay. He does take me out on the weekends. He does visit for holidays, but I've never really lived with him. I remember one day when I was younger, I had to go to my father's house because my mom got extremely sick. So I was there for a couple of hours, and I remember the moment that I got there, my dad's wife started yelling at him, and I had to actually separate myself from her because of how upset she was. So I was literally in a bedroom away from her. To this day, I have no idea why she was extremely upset. I can assume that she was upset because I was there, but it's not my fault that they had a baby and he cheated on her. Like, this has nothing to do with me. I'm sorry. Not to mention, can you really be upset because you knew he cheated and he had a kid and you're still with him? So my mom explained the cheating situation to me when I got older, and I realized how weird their situation was compared to how my other friends' parents got divorced. I don't know, not to compare, but it was just very weird. I do have my opinions on their situation, but honestly, he's my dad, so I try not to think much about it. I know my dad's wife hates him and is the reason why I can't see my dad anymore. And honestly, she has a reason to be mad, but also screw her. Anyway, a couple months ago, my dad actually started asking me if I wanted to spend the whole weekend with him, which honestly to me was very weird, was very sus, because his girl never wanted me around. She hated me. I had questions. I responded to him and I told him I would be okay spending the whole weekend with him as long as it's not at his house. He said his wife wants me to come and how she has a change of heart. And I immediately said no. It was very sus to me. It was very weird. I knew there was something going on at this point. So that weekend passed by, and then the following weekend came up and me and my dad had plans to go eat lunch. The weird thing is his wife actually wanted to tag along, which is again weird because she never used to. So what changed? She ended up coming to this lunch with my father and I, and honestly I wasn't really a fan of her being there, but I was also just trying to keep my calm, just trying to be nice. I didn't need to be nice, but I chose to be nice, okay? There at least has to be one mature one here. At the lunch, she basically told me how important I am to my father, especially now because they can't have kids, and how she wants to make it up to me. She asked if she can be my stepmom, and I was like, you want me to let you be my stepmom after everything you put me through? Absolutely not. It made me really upset, and honestly, I have the right to be upset. My whole life, she made it extremely difficult to see my father, and now you want to be nice? Now you want to be nice because you recently found out that you can't have kids? Wow. I'm not gonna lie, I might have let my emotions get in the way a tad bit, and I might have been a little bit of an ass to her, but I feel like she deserved it. Why, you might ask? I basically told her not being able to have kids is her karma because of how awful she treated me growing up, and I also ended up telling her that she was gonna be nothing to me other than my father's wife. Lunch was over, and later on she ended up crying to my father, and my dad ended up telling me that I had to go and apologize to her because what I said was very evil and cruel, which I mean, I understand, but can you blame me? Anyway, that night was over with. I ended up going back to my mom's house, and one thing about me is I cannot hide my facial expressions. I cannot hide my emotions, so my mother knew something was wrong. I ended up telling my mother everything, and she basically told me that my dad's wife put me in an unfair situation. My mother also mentioned to me that I should probably avoid her and stop talking to her, just give her some time, give her some space, and honestly, I agree with her. I am aware that my dad's wife is going through a lot, and she is dealing with infertility, and honestly she probably isn't over things, which is why she blew up, which is understandable, but also too it's just like, why did she have to disregard my feelings because now she went through something? Like, I don't know, but to me it's just very sad and upsetting how the only reason she decided to apologize is because she found out that she wasn't able to have kids, and maybe I wasn't for it, but I feel like she kind of deserved it. I don't know, you let me know. How would you have reacted?
Story time about how my best friend is becoming abusive. Disclaimer, this is not my story time I was sending me on Instagram. Essie and I have known each other for 5 years, and I don't even know if I can call her my bestie. I need somebody to tell me if this is wrong or right. When her and I met, our lives were completely different. We were both in school and we lived at home. Graduated around the same time. Got hired at a really good law firm and I was able to rent my own apartment. She graduated and she wanted to open up her own salon. It didn't happen right away for her. She struggled a lot and she was not good with business. Finally asked me to help her out. She leased out a good salon and I helped her get a loan. The loan I got her was excellent. Her business was going good, so we decided decided to move in together. At this point, we had known each other for about 3 years. When we moved in together, I started getting to know a side of her that I really didn't like. She was constantly bringing guys home, and it made me feel really unsafe. She once gave our apartment keys to a guy that she had hooked up with once. Came home from a long day at work, and all I wanted to do was just chill and watch TV. But this guy had invited his 2 friends over. They were sitting on my couch, and they had a full spread in front of them. All of my expensive food that I buy for myself because I'm gluten intolerant, they were eating all of that. And they were drinking all of our wine. I kicked those guys out of my apartment because it was my apartment. I get a call from my bestie, and she is irate. She told me that I embarrassed her and that I was not a good friend. But I did not budge. I told her that what she had done was so irresponsible. Giving keys to a random man. We don't know anything about him. She didn't speak to me for a week. And COVID happened and she happened to be home. But luckily, I was by myself through all of COVID. But then she came back. This is when the real abuse started. She began stealing from me. Go to part 2. Story time about my bestie is abusive. Disclaimer, this is not my story time of send me an Instagram. Then she started stealing from me. And apparently she was still mad at me for kicking out that guy the year before. The only reason I found out she was stealing was because I installed cameras during COVID. I was at work one day when she was home. Oh, and by the way, at this point, she had lost her salon. But I managed to keep my job during COVID because I was working from home. He was home all the time. My camera alerted me that there was someone in my room, and then I go look. That's when I see her going through all of my skincare and my makeup. She brought a supermarket bag and just started putting stuff in the supermarket bag. She had never ever done this before, and I was really surprised. But I definitely thought that when I would get home, she would tell me that she got some stuff. I thought maybe she was borrowing it. When I got home, she did not say anything to me. I decided to let it go because at this point, I wanted to mend our relationship. After this, I noticed money missing from my purse. She also started using my Uber Eats. That's when I put my foot down. I told her I knew that she took my makeup. Of course, she denied it, and when I show her the footage, she told me that I was violating her privacy by putting cameras in my bedroom. I asked her for the makeup back, and she told me that she didn't have it. Said she loaned it to a friend. When I told her to stop using my Uber Eats, she said that she had only done it once. I had record that she had done it multiple times. She asked her way through an apology. Then she started body shaming me. She would comment that I was eating too many carbs and that I had definitely gained weight through COVID, which was true. I would never talk about it to my friend. Then I found out through another friend that she was talking bad about me. I told our friend group that I was the one stealing her skincare and makeup. Then I showed them the footage and it got back to her and she went crazy. She came into our apartment and threw me down on the floor. I thought she was gonna hit me, but she actually stopped herself. I asked her to move out and she says she doesn't have anywhere to go. And because I feel bad for her, I don't want to kick her out. I feel like I'm constantly watching my back and my things. She did apologize, but there's too much tension. I'm actually afraid of coming home. Should I just kick her out or should I try to fix things?
Am I wrong for canceling my birthday party because my parents cut my sister a slice of my custom-made cake the night before my party when she cried for it? My sister, 11 female, is the miracle golden child. She always gets what she wants whenever she wants. Evident by the title, my parents are always trying to please her and make her happy. They always make a big effort on her birthday and do whatever that she asks for, but they can barely remember mine and they are always conveniently broke. This year, I wanted to enjoy my birthday, so I babysat and even mowed lawns to make this possible. My birthday was a few days ago and the party was scheduled for the day after. I have been planning for weeks and invited all my friends. I bought the food, snacks, and drinks and picked up my custom-made cake, which I was really excited about. It was just perfect. The night before the party, I noticed that my cake, which was in the fridge, had a huge slice missing. When I asked my dad, he shrugged and nonchalantly said that my sister was crying for it and it was just a small piece. My friends wouldn't notice. I yelled at him asking why he would do something like that when it wasn't even bought with his money, and that my sister could have waited for tomorrow. This made him angry, and he went on a tirade about how I think I'm an adult because of my stupid party, implying at the fact that I did everything myself and did not ask them for anything. I ended up calling it off because I was not able to change the location last minute as I didn't have the means to, and I was so hurt. I didn't want to host it at home anymore. One of my friends told me that calling it off was just an overreaction and that I could have just grit my teeth and gone through with doing it at home rather than canceling just hours before.